If you want to save your first $100,000, you don't need to live like you're broke and only eat rice and beans for the rest of your life, but there are 5 things that you need to do when you get paid in this order. That way you can save that $100,000 sooner rather than later. The first thing that I want you to do is to create 3 separate bank accounts, and the reason why I want you to do this is because each one of us have different things that we're good at. Like for example, me, I'm good at how I spend my money. I can control my spending very easily, but I'm not very good at controlling my eating. I like food. When there's food in front of me, I'm going to eat it. So in order to stop me from eating, I don't have the food in front of me, or I'll just eat whatever's there. So I've learned about me that some people are very good at eating, that when they start eating, they can stop themselves before they're full. When I start eating, if there's food there, I will eat it. But when it comes to spending, I'm a much better controlled spender than I am when it comes to eating. So if you want to control your spending, the first thing that I want you to do is create 3 separate bank accounts. One bank account is going to be for your spending money. One bank account is going to be for your investing money. And one bank account is going to be for your saving money. And the reason why you want to do this is so you don't accidentally spend your investment money, or so you don't accidentally spend the money that's supposed to be saved, because now it's out of sight, out of mind. And now what you want to do is anytime you get paid, your money is going to go here. But then as soon as your money goes into this bank account, you want to automatically take some of this money and move it into this bank account, and automatically take some of this money and move it into this bank account. Many banks will automate this process for you for free. If you don't have a bank that allows you to do that, maybe look for new banks in your area that will allow you to do that. But a lot of banks will allow you to create an automation like this completely free. And now you have a system of knowing this is the money that you can spend. If there's no money in here, you have no money to spend. The second thing that I want you to do is know how much money you can spend versus invest and save. And a simple place to start is something like my 75-15-10 plan, which says that from now on, for every dollar that you earn, 75 cents is the maximum you can spend, 15 cents is the minimum that you invest, and 10 cents is the minimum that you save. Now, if you're watching this saying, but Jaspreet, I'm spending 100% of every dollar that I earn. How am I supposed to now take some money aside and use it to invest or save because I don't have some extra cash? Well, I want you to think of it this way. If the government tomorrow announced that there's going to be a new 25% tax on your income, what are you going to do? You're going to kick, scream, complain, cry, and then you're going to figure out how to pay it. Same thing here. Now what you're doing is not giving money to the government, you're giving money to yourself to make yourself rich. Because now what wealthy people do, and what you're going to be doing, is you're going to pay yourself first. And by paying yourself, I don't mean going out and buying a new Gucci bag. I mean now using money to make yourself wealthy. Your investments are here to make you wealthy. Your savings are here to protect you against a financial emergency. The spending money is there to allow you to have the nice things, go on the nice vacations, eat at the nice restaurants, buy the nice cars, but this money is not going to make you rich. This money will make you rich. This money will protect you financially. This money will allow you to live your life. But you need to make sure that now you're not spending all of your money here. That way you always, no matter what, pay yourself first. You're always going to be investing your money, because this is where you're going to build your wealth. Now, if your goal is to put aside $100,000, let's talk about what this actually means. Because if you're making, let's just say $50,000 a year, and now you're going to be putting aside 25% of your income, some of it's for investments, some of it's for your savings to build your wealth. That means that right now you're going to be putting aside $12,500. At this rate, if you put aside 25% of your income, assuming you don't get a pay raise, because if you get a pay raise, you're going to be investing more money and saving more money, because now when you get a pay raise, your investments also get a pay raise. But if you don't get a pay raise and now you're putting aside 25% of your income, well, it's going to take you 8 years to have that $100,000 put aside. Now, some of this is going to be in your savings account, some of this is going to be in your investment account, but now you have a solid plan on how you can put aside $100,000 in not that long of a time, assuming you don't get a pay raise, but there's more. Number 3, if you want to accelerate how fast you can put aside this $100,000, you can also let your money make you money. Because now when you're putting your money here to invest, this money is supposed to grow. Now, this doesn't mean it's necessarily going to grow by a certain percentage every single year, but you're putting this money aside here. That way it gets bigger. That way your money is making you money here. The money here in your savings account probably isn't going to grow much. Sure, maybe if you put your money in a high interest savings account, you might get some return on your money, but this is where you really want to see your money grow. And if you know how to invest your money the right way, now not only are you putting money aside, but your money is going to be working to grow as well. That way now you're working to get a raise. That way you can give a raise to your investments and you can get a raise to your savings, but then your money that you put into this investment account is also going to be working to grow as well. That way this can grow even quicker, so you can hit this goal even faster than 8 years. The two most common places where you can invest your money are into stocks and then into real estate. So let me talk about both and talk about the different ways that you can invest your money and different ways that you can actually get a return on your money. When you invest your money into the stock market, you're investing your money into a company. You're literally buying a piece of a business. Like if you go out and buy one share of the Amazon stock, you become one of the owners of the Amazon company. Now, the thing that I want you to understand here, that you don't have to go out and find the next Amazon or the next Google in order to make a lot of money. And this is the first mistake that so many people make when it comes to investing their money in the stock market, is they think they have to find the next hot stock. But the reality is, for probably 90 to 95% of people, you shouldn't be investing in individual companies. Why? Because most people don't have the interest or the education or the psychology to actually invest in individual companies. Because the reality is, when you invest in individual companies, if you really want to make money, you have to first understand, how do you actually analyze a company? What research do you do to keep up with the company? How do you keep up with the numbers? How do you keep up with what the management's doing? How do you listen to the earnings calls? What information should you be paying attention to? Most people don't care about that, and if you do care about it, well, a lot of people don't have the education or care about putting the education in to actually do that. And then if you are willing to do that, the next group of people don't have the right psychology to actually manage their investments, because the reality is market crashes happen. You're going to see booms and busts. And what ends up happening now to most people is they end up losing money in the stock market, when historically over the last 100 years, the stock market has gone up over the long term. Why? Because most people start selling and panicking when the market goes down, while smart and savvy investors are buying. And it's not easy to now actually do it. It's much easier to say it than actually do it, because now when you see your portfolio in the red, it can be very scary, and most people tend to panic, and then they make decisions based off of emotions, not financials. This is why most people shouldn't be going out and buying stocks, when the next best thing is buying something like a fund, potentially an index fund or an ETF. This is where now you're not investing in individual companies, you're investing into a group of stocks. That way now you don't have to worry about doing the research in individual companies, you don't have to worry about keeping up with all the companies, and now you just want to create a system where you're automatically buying some of these funds over the long term. Every week, every 2 weeks, every month, no matter what, you're just going to keep buying. If the market's booming, you keep buying. If the market's crashing, you keep buying. The only change that you'd make is maybe you buy even more when the market is crashing, because it gives you the opportunity to buy even more at a discounted price. Now I'm going to go over a few fund examples, but I want you to understand that, one, I'm not telling you what to buy, and two, investing has risks. You're never guaranteed to make money when you invest, which is why you need to always do your own research and never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube. So if you wanted to just invest your money in the stock market, you can invest in a fund like VTI. VTI is the total stock market ETF created by a company called Vanguard. What does that mean? If you go out and invest in the VTI ticker symbol, you're investing in literally the entire US stock market. So if you buy this one fund, you're buying a little piece of a lot of stocks on our stock market, which means essentially if the stock market goes up, your fund goes up. If the stock market goes down, your fund goes down. SPY is another fund which gives you exposure to the S&P 500. That means now you're getting exposure to the 500 largest companies on the stock market. SCHD is a fund that gives you exposure to dividends, dividend-paying companies. Now, I put a little asterisk here because, as a disclaimer, I do own SCHD, and so now the question is, how do you want to get paid, and what is it do you want to invest in? If you just want to throw your money into the stock market, well, VTI can give you that exposure. If you want to invest your money into the biggest companies in the stock market, SPY gives you that exposure. If you want cash flow, SCHD can give you that exposure.